Welcome back to Bounce Around Charleston. Standing next to me, the wonderful, the incredible Mr. Jonathan Green. Welcome to Bounce Around Charleston.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to talk about the Low Country Rice Project.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's a fascinating project about a 250, almost 300-year history of rice culture.
Because it's a part of our culture.
It is our culture.
It is, yes.
It is our West African culture. And we were brought here for the purposes of rice, to plant, to harvest rice, and to build one of the most beautiful spots in the Southeast, the Low Country.
The Low Country.
So for 250 years, our ancestors from West Africa, whom were specifically brought here for the purposes of their knowledge of rice, to make America one of the most powerful countries in the world.
So now this is a part of one of your painting projects?
It is a part of the painting project, but I had to do lots of research on rice. Of course, knowing about rice as a kid, having my grandparents and their peers being the last of the generations to actually plant and harvest rice. Seemingly there's always a misnomer about African American people. Who are they, where they came from, why are they here? And most people just don't realize that we've been here a long time, and
we need to understand our culture.
We need to understand our culture, and I can't think of a better segue than rice.
It's been, well, look, when I was in college, we would go in the cafeteria in Tennessee, and there was always mashed potatoes. And we would look at the cooks and we would say, where is the rice?
The rice. Well, most people don't know how to cook rice, unfortunately. And, but you know, in terms of the food culture, rice is seldom talked about in regards to African American because of its illustrious history and culture. Rice goes back 10, 15,000 years BC. One of the most incredible regions of West Africa. It was known as the Gold Coast. It wasn't because of minerals, it was because of rice. And with rice comes a culture. And with the culture are the people.
And then they made lots of money.
Lots of money. And also managed to create one of the most beautiful environments in the world. And our ancestors are a part of all of those plantations. That's where they're buried. So for African American people, I'm trying to help them understand the importance and significance of the food rice, the history of the food rice, and the people behind the food rice.
But you've always been doing projects that would remind us to remember from whence we've come.
It's my testimony as a person, as an artist. And I can remember back in the 50s, well, 60s, early 60s, when I was in school myself, there wasn't much talked about in terms of our history and culture. And we come from a magnificent history and culture. I mean, this area of South Carolina really should be known as West Africa because of the population of people, where they came from, what they introduced. They introduced the food, they introduced music, they introduced dance, they introduced architecture, landscape, whatever it takes to create a culture.
Everything is here. Everything is here.
Yes.
So where can we see this project?
The project starts at the vocational school, Trident Technical School, and they're going to do the opening reception, which will consist of a medley of dishes of rice prepared by the culinary experts there. And the second day, we're going to be at the Stern Center, which is at the College of Charleston. And the third day, we will be out at Middleton Plantation, where we will actually witness a rice harvest. We will see African cultural displays, from music to dance, basket making, the whole 9 yards. And this could not have been possible without the graciousness of the universities, the churches, the libraries, from Georgetown to Georgia, Savannah. All been very helpful in this project. I thank them all immeasurably.
So when one comes to see the project, what will they see? Well,
first, they will get to eat rice if they come out on Thursday night at Trident Technical College. And so we have a whole medley of dishes there. And then on Friday, we have a symposium where we're going to actually have people talking about rice and the culture of rice. So often when we hear about rice, we hear about it from the perspective of agriculture, but never from the perspective of the culture of the people.
Of the people, okay.
So I'm going to have all of the great brains and minds of rice knowledge, history, writers, tell the people something about the culture of the people which rice came from.
Now, is it the Avery Research Center a part of this also?
Avery is involved. I have an exhibition titled Unenslaved Rice Planters. It's on view at the Cox Gallery at the Avery Center. And these paintings are done from the perspective of, what if we came here like everyone else? Think of what America is missing out on.
What would it be like, huh?
What would it be like?
Without rice.
Without rice and without the people. You know, the African brought in music, dance, foodways, medicinal, every aspect of the culture, architecture, landscape architecture, wisdom, knowledge, all of that was a part of West African culture that was literally moved over here, upplanted and moved over here.
Okay.
And we need to know more about that. All of our schools should have a major course on rice history and economics. I just find it amazing that so many of our institutions are not having that. But I'm told that many of them are really excited. So the University of South Carolina, College of Charleston, Trident Technical College, Baltimore Art Institute, so many institutions, the Citadel, all of these wonderful places are joining in because they themselves are curious and have realized
it's a time for learning.
It's a time for learning.
Thank you, Jonathan Green.
Thank you.
For
It's
being
been
on
a
Bounce
pleasure.
Around Charleston. Okay, the Low Country Rice Culture Project Forum, September 12th through the 14th. For more information and to see the list of the forum sessions, visit www.lowcountryriceculture.org. Okay, the Rice Culture Series at the College of Charleston's Avery Research Center for African American History and Culture, located at 125 Bull Street. The series is called Unenslaved Rice Culture Painting by Jonathan Green and will remain on view in the Cox Gallery through December 15th. Coming up next, performance by Pierre Pinckney.